Good morning, good morning, good morning. You're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's Buddy the God.
Hey,
We are barely here today, but we about to get it rolling.
man.
Let's do it. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Money. Hey. Once again, we're back. It is a Wednesday, man. Wednesday, February the 4th, 2026. And welcome to the show for a fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Happening right now. We're starting off with some technical difficulties, and we're going to continue on the show with them. So, yeah, let us know how we, let us know if you can hear us, you can see us, all that good stuff. And we're going to continue to move it along. Say again.
This is different. I'm trying to find the chat. Oh, okay. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have some problems. You can go ahead and do what you do. I think we'll be good for a minute.
Okay.
So,
okay.
Anyway, how are you doing this morning, buddy? What's happening?
I'm actually feeling good. Feeling rested. Been up. I actually got up a little early today, for some reason. Still setting up my equipment, trying to get my studio together. So head smoking on all of that, having fun with that.
Nice.
Getting into my tech geek bag a little bit.
There you go. Same here.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
new equipment season. That's what's up.
Yeah. Y'all might not know, man. Again, musician life, man. Anytime you get a new piece of equipment, it's a time. It's a time.
That's right.
Yeah,
We celebrate like we having a child. That's what
yeah, man.
it's all
Yeah.
about.
New baby,
New baby
in
in
the
the
family.
house. Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm hanging in there. I'm a little frustrated
Yeah,
about the tech here. Of course,
yeah.
I'm gonna stay on for as long as I can. If you see me jump off, then just know I'll be trying to come back on. It's
Yeah.
like that this morning.
I think we should at least let the people know a little bit what's going on there. Internet is internet.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you live in Omaha, Nebraska, then you've had your share of cussing out Cox on the phone in the morning. Cox cable is no good, bro. Like
Man.
just for no reason. For no reason. It's just, and then of course they can't get a tech over here until tomorrow. So yeah, the life
Man.
of the live stream situation is very very precarious, and not just live streaming like you were saying in studio. Everything is a subscription now. Everything
Oh yeah.
depends on the internet now. So if your internet's down, can't do nothing. And
Man, big
it's
time.
kind of along the same theme of what we've been talking about. What do we do when the internet goes down and social media goes down? How do we communicate? So
Man, definitely reading my mind. Been seeing a lot of actually reports on I forget, I think it was the guy who did I don't want to misspeak. I don't know. It's one of the developers on one of the social media platforms recently rolled out a new platform that's Bluetooth. You've been talking about it. I'm seeing
yeah,
reports about it. Yeah,
yeah,
have y'all seen that? Have y'all seen that?
yeah, pretty interesting. We'll talk about that because I'm actually putting something together to present that. It's a way to be able to communicate with each other when the internet is down, when text is down, when everything is down. Your phones can still talk to each other via Bluetooth, via a network. So
Man.
again, along with our continuous theme, how do we communicate? And speaking of that, we have a person who is just took a job in communications at One Omaha, who's going to join us
Hey.
today. Yeah, Catlindt Landrum is coming through, brand new employee over there at One Omaha. Shout out to Kimmer Snipes and
Squad.
her expanding that whole team over there in a big way. So we'll continue this conversation about communication. But before we get to that, I see a lot of folks in the chat already. RG up first, giving us a morning, y'all. What's happening? Pops
Hey.
gives us a good Wednesday morning, and mad love from Las Vegas. What's up? What's up? Leg Keeser gives us a what's up Wednesday. Hey. Judy Prinzer in the chat. Workout done. Wednesday is here.
Okay.
Gotta get up early and get that workout in. That's what's up.
Wellness Wednesday out of
There you go.
Marlo's book.
Ariel's 402 says live live and direct in Technicolor.
Okay.
We're trying to play
Man.
it. That's what's up, RG. Marlon Harrison says good morning, First Sky family, and happy Wellness Wednesday. There you go. Pop says
Hey.
it's all good right now. That's all we can pray for is the right now.
Man.
RG says go on,
Oh yeah.
jump off the little Kim. Good morning, Kimmer Snipes. Good morning to you. Appreciate you coming on. We were just talking about your new member of the team that you got coming on. That's going to join us here a little bit. Stay tuned. It's always good to meet some new folks, and especially if they're connected to the squad doing good work. So
Squad.
yeah, it's going down. It's going down. Meantime, between time, man, we're gonna try to get through this show the best we can. Again, we got a little technical difficulties. My
Yeah,
internet is down, so I'm kind of doing some stringing some stuff together with MacGyver bubble gum and Q-tips,
man, and shoestring.
trying to make it happen. So before I get thrown back off, let's take a look at some of the things that's going on in the community. Oh,
Hey,
you know what? I didn't load anything that's going on in the community, did I? We'll
it's,
we'll,
it's,
we'll
it's
get
a
to it.
couple things going on. I looked through there.
All right, cool.
Just
We'll
a
jump back
couple.
on. Of course, First Friday is
Man,
coming up on the 6th. Shout out to Empowerment Network and what they're doing here in the Village, 24th and Lake. Went to a really interesting meeting the other day that talked a lot about bringing tourism to the 24th and Lake Street area. Of course, I think one day we're going to be pushing to try to make it a arts district as well. So it was great to kind of hear some of the players in the room that were ready to make some of that stuff happen, and I'm glad that we're going to be a part of that. So
hey,
shout out to them. Shout out. Here's one of the things that's happening February 6th on 24th and Lake. It's going down First Fridays in the Village. The February edition is Black Love, baby. It's going down. So there'll be lots of activities, all kinds of stuff, movie nights, live music, black owned vendors out there. Go ahead and hit that QR code and get your cover fee paid and come on through to First Fridays in the Village. It's going down. I can't wait to check that out. Uh,
hey.
Wrong one. Also, 20th annual Omaha Entertainment and Arts Awards is happening. It's the 20th annual, so it's going to be pretty.
Duh.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of good celebration going on in there for sure. This is happening February 15th. Highly encourage you to get your tickets early. It's going to come on us real fast. It's coming up. It's real fast. As a matter of fact, I'll have to check and see if there's what's going on with the tickets. As a matter of fact, because this is going to be at the Admiral, which is the old Sokol Auditorium. If you know it by that name, 2234 South 13th Street. And so, it's kind of limited seating in there. We usually get a lot of folks. Other years, it's been in places like the Holland and all these other places that got way more seats. So, this place, because it kind of started here, Omaha Entertainment Awards really kind of started at the Sokol Auditorium back in the day.
Man,
So it's going to be a nice remembrance
full
happening
circle.
there. Full circle, man. Come on back and check it out for sure. Also, we still got some tickets to give away here. This is one of my favorite movies of all time, Straight No Chaser. It's the documentary about Thelonious Monk. It's going to be playing on February the 7th and the 11th. I'm definitely planning on trying to go to the 7th show at 2:30, but we still got some tickets there. All you got to do, like and subscribe over on YouTube, and then hit us up on the email and say that you want the tickets. firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. Let us know you want them, and we'll pick from the winners and get you some tickets for this one on February 7th. We also got another one on February 19th coming up, Drilongzo. It's going to be a pretty interesting film as well. And of course, both of these films will have some talkbacks afterwards, just like we've been promoting, the third space situation over there at Film Streams, bringing the community together and watching some important films and having some important conversations about them. So same thing, do us a favor and hit us up on YouTube, like and subscribe, and then shoot us an email at firstskyOmaha@gmail.com. Let us know if you want the tickets, and we'll put you in a pool, and then we'll pull the winners. Let you know
Hey,
what's happening there. Yeah.
man, I want to throw out there. I think they had the showing at Film Streams last night of the other film. I was wondering, did anybody make it? I think Katie White shared some photos on Friends of. Did you make it out there? Did you check it out?
Yeah. Yeah. Let us know. Let us know if it went down. It looked like a good crowd came out, though. So I'm glad
Yeah,
this
yeah.
that's getting supported.
Nice turnout.
A couple people called me and were actually saying, "Hey, are you going to show you going to be there tonight?" So
Hmm.
I guess when people start calling and saying, "What's up? Are you coming?" Then I'm like, "Oh, it's going to be a good turnout because
Come
they
on,
know I
dog.
don't go nowhere."
Hey, the people want to see you, man. They want to see you. They want to live
Hey,
alive with you.
they're gonna have to come over here and look at this screen with me like I'm doing 16 hours a day. Also, today's the day, isn't it? Legislative day. I don't know if anybody's going to this. It's happening at 9 o'clock, 9 to 2. IB Black Girls taking a group of people up to the legislature in Lincoln, and showing you how it's done. So,
Yeah.
if anybody signed up for this, I'd like to know hear about this experience as well. They're taking off at 9 o'clock, coming back at 2. Shout out to IB Black Girl for doing stuff like this for sure.
Man, it's a field trip. It's a field trip.
Love the field trips. I always used to love the field trips back in the day
Yes,
for
sir.
sure. You got a couple things down here. I see you loaded, but I can't see. And there's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
titles.
This is my last one. The other ones I think are graphics for stories. But definitely today, yesterday was the wake, and I'll actually be talking about it today. The funeral, brother Ira Combs. As brother Marlon Harrison always says, today is Wellness Wednesday. And speaking of, wellness, brother Ira Combs is definitely who comes to mind. And actually, we'll start off the show today, kind of talking about his legacy. Shout out to Leo Adam Bigger has a write up about brother Ira in Noise. So man, shout out to Noise. Still around. Still got some articles up. So definitely go check that out. But yeah, today is the funeral as you see on your screen at 11 a.m. So if you have some time after today's show, maybe go and check it out. Say goodbye to the good brother Ira Combs.
There you go. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. And also I got to make a correction here too. Thanks, RG. March 4th, this is happening. So this is not today, not February 4th. They're leaving March 4th. You got some time. Sign up and go down there. I kind of want to do this myself, just to get a kind of hosted tour of what's happening in Lincoln at the legislature.
Man,
It sounds kind of cool. But yeah, hit them up. I'll be Black Girl. I appreciate that, RG, for the correction there. And Morris, we got, of course, more community updates and things to come. So we'll save those for a little later on the show. And if you have any, absolutely want to hear that from you. Put it in the chat and put it in Friends of First Sky Omaha so we can all get together with that as well. So yeah, appreciate that. So far, so good here on 10 minutes into the show. All right.
We rolling. Let us know how we sounding, how we looking on y'all end. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Love to hear about it. Again, if you're just joining us, we have a special guest joining us today from One Omaha, the newest team member on One Omaha, Catlindt Landrum. Brother Landrum is going to come visit us. We get to, I love when we get to meet new folks on the team, in the squad. You know what I'm saying? So we'll get to know him today and talk a little bit more about communications. In the meantime, between time, buddy, what's the theme? What's going on in your mind today?
Yeah, touching on a few things, but continuing the conversation and just giving updates on what's going on outside. Again, as I mentioned, we will definitely be opening up about with a brief just overview and story about brother Ira Combs and the work that he's doing, and really put it into context of what we've been talking about as far as how do we respond to what we're seeing from the Trump regime? How do we respond to what's going on in American society today? People needing resources. Brother Ira Combs and his story is definitely an example of doing for self. Again, if you don't know Brother Ira Combs found in Noah, yeah, we're going to be talking about what that actually means and how we can learn from that. And again, as I mentioned, putting that into context of what's going on outside. Of course, we were in a partial shutdown over the weekend. Trump signed the paperwork that has ended. But what's next and what does that mean? So we'll be diving into that. Still following the money as budget debates are expected to take off. And what does Nebraska's delegation stand in this? As Pete Ricketts and Dan Osborne make their way out to D.C. to discuss ICE funding. Yeah, we're going to see where they stand. I think we already know, but we're going to be talking about it. And of course, here stateside in Nebraska, there's a lawsuit from the ACLU of Cornhusker Clink. That fight is still going on. So dive into that, especially as Nebraska's own legislation or legislative body prepares to debate their budget. Again, Nebraska facing a $400+ million deficit. Yeah, we're going to see what's going on. What is the plan? Is there a plan? Definitely dive into that. And, while they figure out their plan, talk about our plan. What can we do? What can we do on the ground level? Continuing our conversation on the neighborhood level, talking again with our guest from One Omaha, who deals with bringing neighborhoods together, supporting neighborhoods, making sure the communities and neighborhoods have what they need to survive. So what does that look like? We'll be talking about that and more in the second hour. And of course, if there's anything that we're not talking about, missing the mark on, dropping the ball, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. And most importantly, let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B, about 15 minutes into this thing. What's the word?
Yeah, man. 15 minutes in. Let's take a quick break and just kind of regroup for a second. And we'll come in and jump into these stories. I can't wait to hear from you, the chat chimers. Do us a favor, share the show. If you're on Facebook, share the show on your page. That's an easy thing to do too. And if you're on YouTube, share the link to anybody that wants to jump in the conversation. Let them know it's going down. Let them know we're going to meet a new team member today from One Omaha. Yeah, and all that good stuff. And keep on talking about it. And while we're on the break, think about this a little bit. I'm kind of asking this to everybody now. We're in this age of everything that we do, we get online to do. Everything that we do, every news piece we read on social media first. But I also know a lot of people that are getting rid of their social media accounts. I know a lot of people going back to what we call the analog religion that's happening right now, this resurgence of physical media. I'm hearing a lot of people reading newspapers again and all that kind of stuff, like just for reading newspaper sake. And magazines, it seems like it's getting hot again as well. And of course, if we're talking about any other kind of physical media, DVDs, CDs, records, of course, even tapes are coming back strong as well. So
Yeah.
think about this on the break. What do you use to get your news? If besides your phone, what are the other places that you go get your news from or hear from? Do you still watch TV? Do you still watch mainstream news? Just think about that. We'll definitely be talking about how communication works, how we can communicate with each other, and how communication is getting manipulated right
Yeah,
now
man.
in our society. So, yeah, it's more important than ever. We'll be right back. I see Wanda Lewis in chat. Good morning. Good morning to you.
Hey,
Appreciate you coming on in. I will take a quick break and come right back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
All B, buddy to God. The tech is doing its thing right now. Stay that way, tech. Chill out. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back for Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
All B, that's me, buddy to God.
Hey,
That's him. It's going down. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Again, if you're just joining us, it is Wednesday. What is it? The 4th of
yep.
February, 2026. A
Hump
little
day.
chilly outside, man. It's getting a little chilly outside again. The temperature's dropping. It's going to get up to maybe 32, 33 today. So bundle up, still bundle up
Brr,
season. Yeah.
brr.
But at least, and they said it's going to get some snow this afternoon too. I was trying not to cuss at you right in the beginning of the show, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
y'all
S
can have
word.
that.
It's
Y'all
gonna be
can have
snowing
that.
today. How's the weather out there and down south? Did you get hit with the big yet?
Not the big, not necessarily like North Carolina, as the brother RG was saying. Like no, the Cackalack is getting hit, man. Of course, like Philly, New York, like the Upper East Side getting hit pretty hard right now. Lower East Side, more so ice. It's not even
Oh,
necessarily ice storm, but it's like the temperature is cold enough. You know what I mean to cause some issues. Like my AC unit was like stuck at 65 for a couple days just because it was so cold that the unit just wasn't doing what it was supposed to be doing. People, a few people's water mains are busting, so there are those types of issues. I kind of slid as I rode into my cul-de-sac a little bit,
Lord have
which
mercy.
in itself is a problem because Omaha has its hills, but we're in the mountains, we're in the foothills of the Smoky Mountains out here in Georgia, so you know what I mean. It's a little different when you talk about hills and ice, so there is that, but it's not no accumulated snow or anything like that.
Mm.
But yeah, hey, enough to cause some troubles if you don't know what you're doing.
Man, I'm glad they got you out there. You got
Hey,
training.
I
Omaha.
don't know what that's gonna do.
You supposed to have that Omaha training on these hills out here.
Hey, every man for themselves. I ain't about to be standing out. What you think I'm be directing traffic? Mm-mm.
Yeah, you just make sure that nothing else get wrecked around there. That's all I want
Hey,
you to.
that part.
Michelle Moreno said, "Paul, why would you say that word?" I know it. I know it. That's the family show. I'm over here cussing with the S word.
People
I
eating
know.
breakfast. Come on, man. Come on.
But you know what? I'd rather know it's coming than me step outside and be mad because it was warm yesterday. And then look at RG said, "Man, look, it's supposed to be almost 60 tomorrow." So
Mm.
we're in that season. We're in that Omaha. Don't know what
Mm.
Omaha. You drunk, go home season. You know what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
Enough about that. What else is happening? Again, if you're just joining us, special guest coming in. Stick around for him. We're getting ready to meet a new team member, man.
Hey,
Shout out to One Omaha, Catlindt Landrum. Brother Landrum is coming on in. I'm going to get used to saying his name today for sure. And check
yeah,
in and make sure I'm saying it right because you know how I
yeah.
love to butcher somebody's name.
Put some respect on a brother's name.
I am the name butcher for real. In the meantime, between time, let's go ahead and get it fired up, buddy. What's first on the agenda today?
Actually, yeah, let's start right there. Speaking of putting respect on brothers' names, let's put some respect on brother Ira Combs' name. Again, big shout out to Leo Adam Bigger for his write up in Noise. If you haven't read that, definitely check it out. Check it out. Check it out. A good kind of rundown of brother's story. And if you don't know or aren't familiar, again, brother Ira Combs is a long time North Omaha native, but kind of my purview, how I got introduced to him back in the Mind and Soul days, working at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. Shout out to brother Shamari Huggins and the work that Noah was doing. Again, we'll definitely encounter Noah and see some of their work, some of their workshops frequently. And then now to learn that again, brother Combs has recently passed and passed down the baton, really, if you will, to brother Ejiki. The legacy continues, and that's what I want to talk about is the legacy that brother Combs left in North Omaha Area Health, aka NOAA. If you're not familiar, it's kind of right there on 60th, close to where the DMV is now. It used to be a bowling alley, right there in that plaza, right behind the gas station, kind of by where Planet Fitness is. In that area is a health clinic. For those who don't know, is a health clinic, low income, even free for some services. Health clinic. I think there's a barbershop in there. A lot of services
Mm.
are available in NOAA, and it's all in due part to brother Ira Combs, who again founded NOAA, ran NOAA for a long, long time. Again, according to the article, NOAA is a low or no cost healthcare organization that provides holistic care through its NOAA clinic. Again, brother Noah ran the clinic for a long time. On his work, he says, our goal to make North Omaha the healthiest spot in Nebraska is pretty lofty, considering right now that North Omaha is one of our state's sickest areas. He says we can change that. It doesn't take a lot of money, but we can change things just by giving people information and offering them free health screening. So, again, putting into context of what we've been talking about here in the season, following the money, mutual aid, how do we navigate, how can we work together, how can we get through the lack of resources that we're seeing from our constituent or from our government. This is it. When we think about the Black Panther 10-point plan, this is it. Again, the brother created a health system, a health clinic for the community. He did it himself. He built it, and it's running now. And even now that he has passed, it has surpassed his livelihood or his lifespan. And now, again, shout out to brother Ejiki, DJ Giddy Jiki with it, who's now the CEO and running NOAA. And of course, brother Shamari Huggins, who's worked with NOAA for a long, long time. Many, many people in the community have worked with NOAA, doing some good work, man. So again, just an example. I would definitely, as today he lays to rest. Again, the funeral's today at 4 o'clock. I wanted to point to that aspect of his life and legacy, as you see on the screen. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, man. A living legacy, a living example of what can done, what can be done, and how it can be done. As far as our brother Ira Combs taking matters into his own hands, again, not relying on a CHI Health, or not relying on a Clarkson, or not relying on some of these other hospitals. Again, shout out. Actually, I think that was the topic yesterday, just yesterday, at the film streams. That was the film talking about, again, Black maternity health and some of the issues that particularly our community face in certain health institutes. So to have our own is not a small thing. So big shout out to brother Ira Combs. Rest in peace. And yeah, let's learn from his example.
Absolutely. We're going to continue on with that. It's been our intent to do something with Noah for a while, just because of the players there. Shout out to Shamari Huggins and those guys that been talking about it for a while. It's been on the list. Brother RG says, remember Noah was a partner last year for those 2 free cancer screenings. So they were the partners for those cancer screenings that
Yes,
we
sir.
were talking about last year. That's what's up. So yeah, I'm anxious to get Brother Jiki on the show. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit. Also, Brother Huggins on the show. And some people that have been associated with it for a while can tell us, what's going on from the inside. And put that out there to you too in the chat. Ghost listeners, anybody have experience with Noah? Have you used their resources besides the cancer screenings that RG's talking about? Have you been able to be helped by that clinic? I'd love to hear your experiences as well, and also if you've done any work with them or partnership with them or anything like that. I'd love to hear about it. So yeah, I'm anxious to do that, man. It's always been something in the back of our minds that, to figure out how to really kind of big up because of what was happening there. So, unfortunately we're doing it right now under these sad circumstances, but
Yeah.
I do like how you have framed this, succession plan. How do you keep the
Oh
dream
yeah.
going for, especially when there's something that is needed in the community as much as healthcare is needed in this community. I don't see that going away anytime soon. So I'm so glad that he's got some very competent brother taking some things over, taking the
Yeah.
reins.
Yeah, and if anybody has any ideas, wants to do any kind of health education type activities, reach out to Noah. When we were living there, my children's mother, she had a program in partnership with Noah and Girls Inc. to teach young girls about healthcare, and things like that. So again, yeah, this is for, excuse me, it's for us. It's our resource. So let's take advantage of it. Big shout out to brother Ira Combs and everybody leading it, as you said. And yeah, yeah. Let's dig in.
Yep. Tisa Harden in the chat. Good morning. Says, rest in heaven, Ira Combs. She
Yes,
says,
yes.
PLP partners with Noah Clinic. Okay.
Okay. What's up,
What's P?
POP?
Yeah, PLP. Let us remind us what that is. Appreciate you. Also, RG says, was there 3 times last year, not one bad experience? That's what's up. So competent players and everybody there. Absolutely. Let's see. Absolutely. Pink Lotus in the area. Breast health awareness. Right on.
Mm.
Okay. So you had a partnership with Noah. The partnership went well. Is it going to continue on? Man, you're blowing my mind right now because I'm just thinking how many partnerships and programs are they really connected to, connected together this way. We keep on forgetting about how many resources we really have in our community for things. Anything you can think of is probably being helped and taken care of in this community. So
Man,
appreciate you coming on, reminding us about that for
hey,
sure.
it don't just sound good. We're all we got, but that's enough. And I'm going to keep hammering that in, repetitiously into our brains until we understand that we have what we need. We have what we need, and despite everything, I think that's the big thing, and to transition into the next article, to talk about this government shutdown, and really to juxtapose the two stories, because why has the government been shutting down is these debates on the budget and how to fund healthcare and how to fund ICE and how to fund these things. um Now it is being reported that the partial shutdown has been stopped. But again, the debates on how to fund Homeland Security will be up next. And again, the connection between our healthcare and our oppression is quite interesting. Very, very interesting. So, um, yeah, man, a lot of thoughts firing off on that direction. But let's go ahead and dive into the news and keep it, yeah, save the conversation for the second hour.
There you go.
But again, this is coming out of the Associated Press in regards to the partial government shutdown and what is next. Again, there is more fights to be had, but as of right now, especially people worrying about SNAP benefits. Actually, I did see a post on Friends of, shout out to Paul Philman, reposting the Nebraska Appleseed post, letting people know that despite the government shutdown, if you are expecting at the beginning of this month your SNAP benefits, that will still be coming out. So look out for that. But again, in regards to the government shutdown, a $1.2 trillion funding bill has been signed by President Trump, again, according to the Associated Press, just yesterday, which ends the partial federal shutdown that took place over the weekend. And again, now setting the stage for debates over Homeland Security funding, which, of course, includes ICE. The president moved quickly to sign the bill after the House approved it with a 217 to 214 votes. So again, just a 3 vote difference, very, very slim margin on this, to show just how this nation is split on how the money is spent. Again, Trump says the bill is a great victory for the American people in good old Trump fashion. But what does this actually mean? The passage of the legislation again marks the end for one funding fight and sets the beginning of another. Again, the package only funds the Department of Homeland Security for 2 weeks through February 13th, at the behest of Democrats who are demanding more restrictions on immigration enforcement. Of course, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries quickly warned Democrats would not support any further temporary funding for Homeland Security without substantial changes to its immigration operations. There has been, of course, some talk about changing in training, changing in hiring, changing in this, that, and the third. There's also talks about abolishing. So again, where those debates will go, not sure, and where Nebraska will land on that, as far as Pete Ricketts and Dan Osborne goes. I believe the Examiner has a pretty good write up on that. We'll get into it in a second. But as of right now, what say you, chat? Paul, what's the word?
Yeah, I'm not. I mean, I'm skeptical about all of it. I didn't like how how the Democratic Party didn't, said they were going to put up this fight at first, caved, at the last shutdown,
Hmm.
and keeps on funding. This season is season 4. It is 4B, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay.
Follow the
Follow the
money.
money is the theme of the season, and that's what I keep going back to. I keep thinking of that. I was looking at something I'll tell you about it later. Uh, the theme "Follow the Money" got me thinking about, like, how do you really make any kind of difference? And the fact that everybody was like doing a 1 day boycott, the fact that people are out in the streets, the fact that people are taking off of work and school to go out and protest. And who does that affect? Is it affecting the politicians in their mind states? It doesn't seem like it does, but it might put some pressure on big business to put some pressure on the political game, in order to make some changes. But the ones that are really in there to try to make some change are the ones that's trying to defund this situation, because
Man,
they can't keep hiring Proud Boys and everything else if they don't got a budget to do that. So why would
yeah,
anybody who opposes what ICE is doing right now? Why would anybody vote to go ahead and allow them to get more funding? Just is beyond me. So I'm not very hopeful on any of this stuff. We'll see. Anthony Rogers right in the chat saying right now we need to know definitively if our local police forces are coordinating with collaborating with ICE in any way whatsoever. Yeah, I think we can kind of assume they are. I don't like to do a whole bunch of assumptions around here, but
right.
um, unless they are coming out battling at this point, then everything else is help, as far as I can see. They're not out here arresting ICE agents, so they must be allowing things to go.
That part again. If you remember, I pointed out the fact and made it a point to point out the fact that it was Minnesota state troopers. It was Minnesota state forces that was using LRADs, military devices on protesters. And
Yeah,
if you don't know what the LRAD is, again, it's a long range audio device. Again, they're shooting low frequencies at people. If you ever stood next to a subwoofer that was just blaring, you kind of feel that gurgling in your lower stomach. Imagine a prolonged feeling of that directly shot at you to the point where internal bleeding, sound damage, bleeding from the nose, discombobulation. I think that's what Trump is calling the discombobulator. I think that's what he's talking about.
the
This is the same
discombobulator.
device that was used when they captured Maduro. This is what the Minnesota state, Tim Walz's people, this is what they're using on protesters. So to Brother Anthony Rogers' right point, yes, we need a let's not get confused in this. This is good old police brutality. Like
Yeah,
looking at the police, it's like the boogeyman situation. They give you a worse issue to try to give you the solution that they really wanted to give you in the first place.
right,
I'm not confused just because the slave catchers are now the worst, ones are now in the street. That doesn't make the police any better. It's still the police.
right. We'll dig in on second hour on some of this talk here, especially when it comes to this, because what I'm thinking about right now too is the level at which ICE is working in Omaha, in Nebraska right now. Because every time we do ask that question, and or say something to the police chief, or say or talk to the sheriff, for instance, the same story is, well, ICE has been here doing this for a while. They're not really doing much ramping up, other than what happened when they went and hit the packing house that time. But it's business as usual. Well, if it's business as usual, then it is our law enforcement that's helping that
Right.
continue on. So yeah, Ariel's 402 says yes. Assume they are. They are assigned to protect traffic and pedestrians from interfering with apprehension. Yeah, for sure. Anthony Rogers Rice says ICE can't be defunded. They will get 29 billion a year until 2029, unless that gets interrupted, unless some judges get together and interrupt some things. So again, we'll see. We'll see what's happening with it. More on that in the second hour. Definitely hang around the second hour so we can have more
Yeah.
of a conversation about that and dig in. Donnell Sessions gives us a good morning. Appreciate you coming in this morning. And if you're just joining us, we are anticipating our special guest is now on the neighborhoods team with One Omaha, man, making neighborhoods the thing. He's in communications as well, so we are very much looking forward to meeting Catlindt Landrum. Brother Landrum's going to join us here shortly, so stay tuned for that. And let's talk about that. It's going to be great to meet a new member of the squad over there at One Omaha, and really kind of talk about how we can start the communications from the grassroots level, because that's where it happens. You know, a lot of the protesters, people out on the street, making calls back, live streaming back, and for
Yeah.
people that aren't out there, letting us know what's really happening when mainstream news comes out there and says something else.
We're gonna
So
get into it.
we're gonna get into it, but let's take a quick break, and we'll come back. Again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. He's buddy to God.
Hey.
We'll be right back. Stay tuned, y'all.
That they, the establishment, intend to play the role that government plays. We have to show them by our actions that we do not intend to play the role that the Jews play.
Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Paul B, buddy to God. Man, appreciate you guys coming in this morning. He said busy with the teasy. More on that in the second hour. That's right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We're
Stay
gonna do a
tuned.
little bit more of this. You gonna get the buddy blast and stuff happening on the second hour from now on.
Stay tuned.
We're gonna move through the news. And with that said, let's go ahead and jump into it, buddy. What's next?
Yeah, man. Let's keep it moving. And I answer the question that's been asked as far as what does this mean? The national movements of ICE. What does this mean for us in Nebraska? What can we expect in our own backyard? And what does our where does our delegation? There we go. Stand in these upcoming debates. Again, of course, talking about Pete Ricketts, who is our U.S. senator, and we'll be fighting against Dan Osborne in the upcoming election. And Ricketts is a part of that six to dismiss. Again, we are pushing in this midterm the six to dismiss. Again, 6 seats that need to be replaced, need to be filled, and Ricketts is one of them. But is Dan Osborne really the one that we need? We'll see. Again, both Osborne and Ricketts have actually stood tough, quote unquote, about the border and immigration during his 2024 campaign against Republican U.S. Senator Deb Fisher. Osborne ran an ad offering to help President Trump build his border wall. Osborne has said Trump is doing a good job of securing the border. So take that for what it is. Again, Ricketts has also visited the Texas border with Mexico earlier this year with a group of fellow GOP U.S. senators to praise Trump's border policies, but how Trump has enforced immigration law within U.S. borders has been a bone of contention since his return to office as he pushes mass deportation. So again, whether or not the two main U.S. Senate candidates, where they stand on this, it doesn't really seem like they're on the side of, I think, where a lot of us are as far as, again, not supporting this immigration policy. Again, Osborne referring to Trump's administration's decision to increase the president of ICE in Minnesota told Norfolk radio station WJAG on January 21st that he hates to see the division of people. He said he is not taking sides on the issues that pull people apart. Ricketts defended ICE, however, saying that the President Trump was elected to secure the border and clean up the mess President Biden made. So again, I think where these two candidates stand on this issue is definitely something to pay attention to in regards to the question that Brother Anthony Rogers Wright is asking, not just, how does Nebraska play a role in supporting ICE on the national level, but what does that signal for ICE's acceptance or opposition in Nebraska? Of course, the concept, or not even a concept, but an actual contract, a 287G. Again, if you're not familiar with it, look it up. 287, the numbers 287, the letter G. That is the agreement that allows or basically deputizes local law enforcement and turns them into federal ICE agents. Some areas, some townships, some villages in Nebraska, I do believe, have entertained those. Has Omaha or Lincoln's police forces? Not really. But again, what kind of political climate are we in Nebraska, especially if we have U.S. representation that supports Trump's policies?
There you go. Marlon Harrison in the chat says, we know where Nebraska and Iowa politicians stand on this ICE situation. Tisa Harding in the chat says, well, that says it all. No Osborne. Sentiments there. Let us know how you think, how you feel about that. We've definitely heard a lot about Osborne last season, and he's been out there. He's been out there strong. He's been somebody who I guess was backed by the labor union and some other folks, and seemed like a good person to battle. Of course, that was around the time that Preston Love Jr. was also running against and trying to get Pete Ricketts out of that seat. So we heard a lot about all this last year, and this is kind of I missed some of those things that he had to say there. So yeah, take that as you will as well. Who's this is who's going running? Who's running for the seats? Who's trying to get in there? Do we have any viable candidate that is somebody that we feel like is trustworthy there on that end? So good questions. Like I said, love to hear what you have to say about that. And of course, we always, because we are talking to who we're talking to, we're kind of reiterating, our thoughts and stances on what it is that we think. I think we lean a lot towards another direction here than to be feeling like a border control and everything else is strong. But I will say, I've talked to a lot of people in our community that I was surprised to find out are speaking that same stuff about immigration.
Yep.
Border
control or protection.
Right. So yeah, what say you? Love to hear where you stand on that. Again, join us for the second hour. We can really dive into some conversation there. Before we get to our guests, let's wrap up. You got one more thing you want to jump into real quick? All right, cool.
Yeah. Again, because while at the leadership level, we're trying to see and still paying attention to where they're leaning. There is help throughout the state. Organizations necessarily are stepping up to the plate. In this article, shout out to Cindy Gonzalez and Nebraska Examiner reporting on the ACLU. The ACLU is stepping up in this fight, trying to get ahead of what has already happened in Nebraska in regards to ICE and the Cornhusker Clink. The Nebraska chapter of the American Civil Liberties Union, aka the ACLU, has launched its first federal lawsuit on behalf of migrants at McCook's so-called Cornhusker Clink. Actually, two suits have been filed, one Tuesday and the other last week in the U.S. District Court of Nebraska, center on Guatemalan and Eastern African, the suits center on a Guatemalan man and an Eastern African national. Both cases are tied to growing national conflict over a detention of undocumented migrants, but also provide a glimpse into how attorney access is playing out for those jailed at the state's former work ethic camp, now operating as a hybrid state federal facility for ICE. So again, there are some issues of attorneys being able to get in, speak to their clients, get information to the clients, similar to what we've seen, have been seeing from Texas, some of their detention facilities down there. If you've been paying attention to the reports down there, a lot of issues in some of these facilities. So again, a lot of questions, more questions than answers as far as what's going on in these facilities. But again, fights are being had right here in our own backyard. ACLU stepping up. Again, the citizens of McCook also filed their own lawsuit. Not quite sure where that is. But again, the fight is raging on. And as we, prepare for our next guest, I want to dive into what can we do as communities as we come together and help each other on the streets. So there you go.
Yeah. One thing I'm thinking about that too is we always have to address again about the Cornhusker Clink McCook situation is that they get paid. They get money for filling this prison up.
Quota.
It is a quota. I mean, this is a follow the money season. So we have to think about that. We got to also consider that. And part of the reason why they would, why that's a good thing is maybe for the area. Maybe they feel like they're providing jobs or people in the area are cool with it because there's money coming in. I mean, there's so many factors here when it comes to the motivation of getting paid to fill a jail on whatever level. This right now we're talking about ICE detainees, but it's just interesting to remember that that's what we mean by follow the money. Let's bring that part of the conversation in range as well. The range is that there's money involved in filling this place up. So they get paid.
Man, $14 million estimated income for the state. I don't know how McCook the residents of McCook themselves will fear. But the state itself is a stand to makes about $14 million from this contract. So
There you go.
follow the money.
So it makes me think about the community there too in McCook, because like you said, McCook, they're also filing their own lawsuits
Hmm.
out there as
Hmm.
well. So what does that neighborhood and what does that community think, and how are they framing all this? It'd be interesting to talk to that community and find out. But on the subject of talking to communities, we have our special guest waiting in the wings, and we will have him join us in just a second. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back in. And yeah, we'll meet the new team member of One Omaha. Stay tuned. We'll be right back, y'all. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning, I was wondering.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
I'm Paul B. He's buddy to God.
Hey.
And we got brother Catlindt Landrum in the house.
Yo,
Hey.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
loud
loud
and
and
clear.
clear.
Awesome. Good morning, gentlemen. How y'all doing?
Oh
Man,
man,
doing wonderful.
I'm
Doing
doing
wonderful.
great. Now, when I see a brother who got his tech right and his sound and camera and his backdrop and everything,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking
I appreciate that. Working in
Yeah.
production, gotta show up right?
Working
There you
in
go.
production. I heard that.
Okay. Oh, we're gonna learn a little bit more about that. Gonna ask about that. First and foremost, did we pronounce your name right? Did we get the name right?
It's Catlindt. The D and the T is silent. So
Got it.
it's the opposite of Caitlin because I'm a boy. So
Okay, Cat.
Catlin. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, brother Catlindt, thank you for joining us so early this morning, and welcome. Of course, we are introducing you as the new communications manager or director for One Omaha, but just a little bit about you. Where you from? Background? Yeah. Are you from Omaha? Omaha native?
No, I'm not. I'm originally
Okay.
from Chicago, South
Okay.
Side, born and raised, 87th and Cottage Grove.
Southside.
Hey,
Yeah.
right.
For sure. One of the, if not the best city in the world, definitely top 2,
Okay.
I would say.
Hey.
And so I came to Omaha back in 2019. So I've been here for a little minute.
Okay, what brought you
What
here?
brought you to Omaha?
The culture, a job at the time, but primarily the culture. I felt like it was the right fit for my family and I. And so I still feel that way today.
Bro, please expound on that. What about the culture is appealing?
So my background, I come from a very faith-based community as well as family, but I didn't see a lot of men my color active in the faith-based community as well as in the community, I should say. And so through some mentors, when I went away to Michigan in college, I met some people who were from Omaha. And just after being around them for several years in the production space, I was just like, man, what is it about Omaha? First of all, where is it? Is anybody out there that looked like me other than, the people that I had met, which was like 2. And I was just like, what is it about there, that place that seems so special? And I came out here for a conference, had the opportunity to produce an international conference at the time. And I was like, oh man, I should be out here because iron sharpens iron. And I was always told, if you want to go someplace, you got to get around some people who are going places, who have been some places. So I felt like it was a good thing for us to do. And so we did it.
That's what's up, man. I'm actually really happy to hear that. That's strong. That's strong. You said you have a family. You married with kids, married with children?
Yes. Well, I have children.
Okay,
I have
okay.
children and we have 3, 2 boys and a girl, 13, 9, and 7.
Ooh,
Okay,
yeah,
okay. You got some children, got some
some
kids.
Yeah,
strong years right there, bro. I feel for you.
very, very busy, very active. They keep us on our toes for sure.
That's
For
what's
sure,
up.
for sure. I have 3 myself, so I definitely understand, understand.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So a little bit about the communications, production. Again, you keep mentioning production. How like, I guess, what is your experience or background in production? How you got into that?
Yeah, so interesting fact. I'm a saxophonist, professional
Hey.
saxophonist, and so about 19 years ago, I was at church, playing my horn, and the pastor had just gotten up. He was about to preach, so obviously no music is being played at this point. I put my horn down, and then there was a camera right by the band pit. Well, the volunteer who was on the camera fell off the camera, and I think she fainted or something. So the ushers came
Mm,
and whisked her away, and tend to call the ambulance, everything else like that. She ended up being fine, but I'm looking up at this camera and it's unmanned. There were like two or three other cameras in the space at the time, and so I was like, I figured I could follow directions. So I got up, put the headset on, and I listened to the person tell me what to do. And literally, that was my introduction into production. I became a camera operator. Then I learned how to switch and direct. And then I was like, oh, sound sounds cool. I know it from a musician standpoint, but how does that translate into a room like this? And then broadcast, we were recording back then records, but also broadcasting or going live way back then. This is 2007, before it was
mm.
even, popular.
Right.
And then, so I figured that part out with some training and just asking people a whole bunch of questions. And then I learned lights. And so that was my introduction into production. I haven't looked back ever since.
Boy, I
Man,
got to tell you, you got one of the best educations out there to get. So those of us in the live stream space have learned so much from watching tutorials from churches
yeah,
that
Mhm.
put these things. The church community has created the live stream professionalism
pretty
that
much.
we all live on today. So that makes a lot of sense.
Thank you for saying that, because that means a lot. Because where else can you go to practice on hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equipment for free?
Right.
Where can you
Unless
go to
yeah,
make mistakes and try new things and mess up? You know what I mean? And
Mhm.
it'd be okay, other than
mhm,
the kingdom. So I appreciate you
mhm.
saying that.
Broadcast
And it's
quality
weekly.
too. You got to work at Channel 7 or something to do this kind of stuff you can do at church. You got to,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So
Man,
Absolutely.
yeah.
monitors and yeah, yeah, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing.
Different world for sure.
Man,
Right
so
on.
okay. How does that translate into the position now? How do you or I guess what was the first job you got when you came into the Omaha area?
I was a production director. So all
Okay.
things live production. I was also over post production, so editing, graphics, communications, all of those things, risk management a little bit. Had
Mm,
to look at the whole experience from essentially from the street to the seat. Um, but my role specifically was, how do we take this atmosphere, curate it, and translate that into a live environment by way of audio, video, as well as lights. And so if people didn't necessarily notice what was going on, then we did our jobs pretty well, because our job was to be as distraction free as possible. And
mhm.
so, but even if we were a quote unquote distraction, it just really depended on what was going on. I mean, you have things like technology that fails on you all the time. we're working with human beings, and so there's that dynamic where people go rogue, or they just have a lapse of judgment, or they're worried about what they're going to be making for lunch, or they're worried about work the next day. You have all these different mediums and different perspectives that's going on, and so we just did our best to ensure that people that were coming to church at that particular time, they were looking for something. So we just wanted to make sure that we got out the way so God could do what he does best.
Beautiful. Mm.
That's what's up, man. Just so you know, you were asking before, a few days ago when we talked about you coming on the show. What was our subject matter? First visit is always, let's get to know the brother first, and our community here is pretty strong. We got people in the chat we call chat chimers
Yeah,
because
nice.
they regularly come in. Say again.
Who, me? I was
Yeah.
just saying nice.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. So a good community of folks. We also got people that don't really chime into the chat. We call them ghost listeners, but they're out there paying attention too. And every time I go around town, I get to meet a lot of people that are coming in the show, and it's definitely a community. It started off as a kind of a news channel that we were doing, and eventually over time it morphed into this communication about the news with a steady group of people that come through and to discuss it. So we always want to make sure that we are introducing, especially somebody new to the team as well. We consider Kimura Snipes, First Guy Omaha family. We partner with One Omaha and stuff, so you part of the squad. So we definitely wanted to get to know you, and glad you took the time this morning to come and do that for us with us. Just can't wait to keep on talking to you about it. But let's jump into the job. Let's figure out. So now that you're in One Omaha, you're communications director, right?
Communications manager, not director yet.
Okay.
but manager for sure. Very, very small team, but as you mentioned, Kimra is a powerhouse. I'm new to this scene, but she's definitely a veteran and has been plowing the streets and in community for well over 20 years. And so she's well respected, in high regard with everybody in every neighborhood. You know what I mean? So I'm very happy to be a part of the team for sure.
That's what's up. What you learning from her right now about just communications with the neighborhoods?
Man, what am I not learning? Am I not learning? But she's also an elected official, so there's a lot of things that I didn't necessarily have to think about before that I have to think about now in this space, because all skills are transferable, right? I have a vast background, and so she, out of 108 applicants, she saw fit by way of a rubric to not ensure, but I was chosen. It was my seat, out of 108 people. And so, as you stated, I'm the new communications manager at One Omaha. And again, thanks so much for having me on the show. I think One Omaha, we believe strong neighborhoods don't happen by accident. Let me just start there. They happen when people already doing the work, have the tools, trust, and support to lead those efforts, period, point blank. And so in my new Omaha, to answer your question more directly, my focus is really on how we communicate with neighborhoods, not at them. And so we start with relationships first, because people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care, right? And then we build alongside people who are already doing that work in their communities. So we're not just coming in and parachuting in with solutions. We believe strong neighborhoods don't happen by accident. They happen when people have the tools, like I said, to lead.
Love that.
Man, I do love that. And we're approaching our second hour, and I kind of do want to get deeper into that in the full context of the conversation we're having today. Of course, you're from Chicago. We're seeing what's going on with ICE. We're seeing communities feeling the pressure. We're seeing, again, you're in media, the recent arrests of Don Lemon, Georgia Ford. We're seeing what's going on with media, communication, and community. I guess, can you kind of speak to more to that, like as far as the importance of communities being able to speak? And I'm also thinking of Chicago, home of the Nation of Islam and their paper, and really communities educating amongst themselves, the real importance of that. I'm just kind of curious, based on your background, what you feel about that.
It's interesting question and perspective. I remember growing up, my sister and I, on the weekends, a lot of times we would be at grandma's house, and a lot of my friends and peers, that was the place to be. Why? Because you could get up whenever you wanted to get up. You always gonna have a fresh hot meal, anything that you want. Grandma gonna make sure that it happens. And so what was that though? That was community. And you played hide and go seek, not just in the backyard or the front yard, but in Chicago, we played it by the block. So we knew what was going on. We knew where everybody was. We knew if you were sick or not. And even if you were sick, we would still knock on the door and say, hey, can you come outside anyway? It was a real strong sense of community because we wanted to be together. And so one of our core values at One Omaha is that we build together with people who are already invested in their neighborhoods, right? As a child, I was invested in making sure that my friend and my friends were okay. You know what I mean? It was my job to ensure that I checked up on them. They were checking up on me, right? So I look at residents, my neighbors, they aren't necessarily a box to check. They're our partners. That means that I got to listen first to what concerns them, right? I got to move at their speed of trust, and then staying accountable to the people who live there. what better people to have, I guess, um, real time information than the people that live next door to me, the
Right.
people that are experiencing real tragedy and real heartbreak, but also real victory and real triumph, right? And so we're especially passionate about the work that's happening in North and South Omaha specifically, and there's deep leadership there already. And like I said, our role is to support and not to necessarily overshadow. I think it's really, really important that as neighborhoods in Chicago, in Detroit, in North Carolina, in Omaha, that we really do a better job at sticking together. And there's a lot of phenomenal men and women, boys and girls that are already doing that work. And so we got to stick together for sure.
Let me
Yeah.
ask you on the how the
Mhm.
question, because this is what I'm wondering about. We ask this question, and this is a continuous part of our conversation with the public. How do you get your news? How do you receive your news? I'm in particularly really paying attention to what's going on with the social media platforms and the shifts that goes on there. We used to be on Twitter, now we're not. We probably pulling away from TikTok right now for a bunch of different reasons. But we also are trying to meet people where they're at. So
Right.
we ask them on a constant basis, where are you getting your news? Where would you like to get your news? We started a newsletter. So I always got this question of how, and when you're dealing with your job is to really kind of communicate to neighborhoods, and so now you're really face to face, boots to the roots with people. What are you finding is the best way to be in conversation with the neighborhoods in the way that you're trying to be?
Sure. So, being very much so new to this particular role, I'm not necessarily new to the space, right? And so, essentially, it's a lot of boots on the ground, knocking on doors, having real time conversations with people, not taking no for an answer. Because again, I probably will say this quote a million times in our time that we have together. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And so that means you
Mhm.
have to constantly show up. You got to show up when you don't feel like it. You got to show up when you do feel like it. You got to show up without a script or an agenda. Only for only your only agenda is to ensure that they feel heard and they feel cared for. That's the
Right.
only, and then they're going to trust that you're going to do something with the information. And so social media, getting out, rubbing shoulders with people, going to community meetings, going to social uh, um, events. When I mean, and then my eyes and my ears are always open. When my daughter has a dance showcase, my eyes and ears are open because those girls and boys are a part of the community. They have parents, they have friends that are going on. That have things around them that are going on, right? When my son is playing, he plays in two basketball leagues. There's different perspective and two different communities, so there's different perspectives, so different social economic status, a lot of things. So my ears are open, so I ask a lot of questions no matter where I am. And then two, people do a real good job at sharing their perspective and their opinion with you whether you want to hear it or not.
Yeah.
Right, so
Got
we
these
get we get DMs, we get emails, we get letters. People come into coffee shops and let us know what they thinking, how they thinking, where they was thinking, and why they thinking whatever they thinking. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
I'm constantly surrounded and inundated with perspective as well as ideation topics and partnerships. So that's how a conglomerate of all of that.
That's what's
Yeah,
up.
you had mentioned that there are people in the space, already doing the work, and One Omaha is also looking to support them as well. And that's something that's interesting when we always speak to organizations and people from the community, just learning. Like again, I always say on the show, we all we got, but that's
Right.
enough. And it's a ode to the fact that there are so many resources and so many people in the community doing the work. We just don't know about them.
Right.
So to that point, what are some of the people or how are some of the organizations communicating? What are some of the things you're seeing already that are working or you're excited about, building upon?
Yeah, that's a great point. So a lot of organizations serve neighborhoods in Omaha. There's no shortage of that. Fewer
Hmm.
are willing to share power with them, though. And I think that's
Mm.
where One Omaha sort of differentiates ourselves. But our difference is that we start with residents, like as you said, that are already doing that work and build infrastructure around them. right? So data, leadership development, and long-term support instead of programs that sort of disappear when funding, shifts. You know what I mean? We don't treat neighborhoods as beneficiaries. We literally treat them as leaders. And so a great example of that support is even our partnership within other organizations, because we're just not on a separate island by ourselves. One of our
Mhm.
partnership is with Omaha Community Foundation. And so that
Okay.
partnership, through that partnership, One Omaha provides technical support as well as neighborhoods that receive sponsorship at no cost. So they could focus on organizing and leading and not just paperwork as well as barriers. Another example of the work that we do would be through our neighborhood needs assessment. I think Kimmer would kill me if I didn't mention that.
Mhm.
For right now, we're in the co-design phase of our neighborhood needs assessment, which is completely 100% resident led. And
Mm.
so what we're asking real people what's working, what's missing, and what support actually looks like for them. And just as important, we're committed to sharing back what we learned and then closing that loop. Participation matters because this isn't just data for data's sake. You know what I mean? It's about shaping decisions that affect people's daily lives. Like, people are going through things, whether you are a single mother with children, whether you're a single father with children, whether they're two parents in the home, like, everybody's going through things. I think that another program that we use is called the Neighborhood Leadership Academy. And then from there, we invest in leaders through our Neighborhood Leadership Academy. That particular program equips residents to lead projects in their own communities, not somebody else's vision, but literally their own vision. And again, strong neighborhoods don't happen by accident. They happen when leadership is resourced.
Right.
What else? Oh, this is new, and I'm trying to stay sort of partial because that's my job, but this is exciting. It's called the LB. What is it? It's a new policy, LB 1214.
Okay.
And so all of this connects everything that I just mentioned with the neighborhood needs assessment, as well as the neighborhood leadership academy. All of this connects to LB 1214, which is a bill that was introduced by Senator McKinney. And it grew out of the interim hearing that One Omaha requested around neighborhood level data infrastructure. And so the bill would establish a pilot program for neighborhood data collaboratives, meaning resident led, neighborhood associations working alongside nonprofits and planning organizations, essentially. And
Mm.
it's really about shared governance, how data is gathered. I talked about that earlier. It's about how they feel understood and what is used in decisions that affect neighborhoods. And so the reason why I'm pretty excited about that, and a lot of other people are excited about that, because there's a public hearing this coming Tuesday. I think it's the 10th, February 10th at 1:30 before the Urban Affairs Committee at the state capitol, room 1200. And
Okay.
so at the end of the day, our work is about trust, it's about tools, and it's about long-term leadership. So we're not just here to speak for neighborhoods, we're here to help the neighborhoods speak for themselves. And so
Mm.
this LB 1214 is very, very much so important.
That's interesting. Man, kind of candid. Just funny story. Side note: I rewatched They Clone Tyrone yesterday. And so just the idea of communities feeling like they're being experimented on, like our community is always being studied, and there's this, they come in and they measure and they prod and they ask questions and they study, and then what happens? What does that money go? What are the results go? What really happens? What is the impact in our community? So to hear you say that and talk about that bill again, you can see the bill. Thank you, Paul, for linking that in the chat for anybody that wants to read that. You can learn more about that information. Shout out to Senator McKinney for that. But yeah, we've heard actual Sister Kimmer talk about that in the past. But thank you for explaining it the way you did. I feel clearer on it, and yeah,
Awesome.
that is something big. Especially like the census. A lot of people are wary about the census, even to the point where people in our community don't fill it out.
Right.
But again, we need data to make informed decisions and to make change. So very interested and excited to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, I think that's a phenomenal perspective. The question that I think about based off of what you said is how do you avoid speaking for communities instead of over them?
Mm,
Right. So you do that, I think, by designing everything to be resident led from the start.
right.
Mhm.
Right. You say it's
Right.
for the community. Why are you making moves without the community first?
Mhm.
That means co-design, that means shared decision making, that means closing the loop, right? Not just collecting stories for data, but reporting back what we learned and how it's being used, right? And so we measure that by whether residents can see themselves in the outcome. And if not, clearly we've missed the mark.
There you go.
I'm glad you're talking about that too. This is something that I know our community always has a problem with, because people will just take that data, and next thing you know, it's that data is used for fundraising and a bunch of other things, and not really even seeing what the data means to a story back to us about what happened with that data.
Mhm.
And so, my question here before we do that, I just want to let people know it's 8:10 right now if you're in Omaha, Nebraska, and if you believe in the concept of time, and we have our special guest. Catlindt Landrum is in the house. He's a new communications manager over there at One Omaha, and that's the organization that Kimra is a part of. Kimra has we got introduced to her when she was running the South Omaha Neighborhood Association, and now with One Omaha, you guys are focusing on all of the neighborhood associations, all the neighborhoods, I'm sure. And it's kind of a nice progression for what it is that she has the power to do in moving into that direction. We consider this show kind of a digital neighborhood association in the way that we are gathering certain people, and especially groups of people, families of people that come back, and we have continuous discussions about and try to figure out what's going on. So when we the way we have chosen to communicate with them is this live stream situation here, and of course our newsletter, and then we encourage them to come into the Friends of First Sky Omaha group page on Facebook and have discussion there. When Omaha does this with all the different groups and all the different neighborhood associations in particular, is it that you have to go to all the neighborhood association meetings, or do you is there some broad way that you are able to speak to all the different neighborhood associations, or do you even specifically get down with each neighborhood association that way? Is it a broader thing? What's the how does that work?
That's a phenomenal question. It's really hard to know what's going on if you aren't there to witness it yourself.
Mhm.
Somebody could tell you something's going on, but that's from their perspective, and they could have gotten that data or that information from somebody else who got that information from somebody else who got that
Mhm.
information from somebody else. So what is really real, right? And so it's best that you are there sort of real time in person, yourself, and or have very trusted, reliable sources that can help you with the information, because you can't be everywhere at the same time. So we
Mhm.
show up at a lot of community meetings. The Empowerment Network is an Omaha 360. They're doing a phenomenal work in ensuring community is happening everywhere, and so we're there. Today's Wednesday, so I'll be there at 2 o'clock. And so that's just an example. But as soon as we hear about different things, we do our best to show up and make sure that our residents' voices are being heard.
Word. That's
There
what's
you
up.
go.
Appreciate you, man. In the chat, Pops in the chat saying this is a great brother. I'm super happy that he is now on Kimmer's team. That's what's up. Right on,
Hey,
Pop.
Thank
and
you.
some love.
Yeah. Donnell
Thank you, my
Sessions in
guy.
the chat says it seems like in North O most organizations don't speak to the residents in the neighborhood. So yeah, I think this is definitely where One Omaha stands out when it comes to that.
Mhm.
Also, Tisa Harden in the chat says, I'd like to be a part of that assessment. So you got some people there ready to volunteer on some of those assessments as well. She says,
Nice.
I call so many organizations and associations that do not return my calls. So there
Mm.
you go. Kimber's in the chat right on. She says,
Nice.
that's not his role. Our advisory board that we just kicked off supports with that. And so is our neighborhood engagement intern. Okay, so we still have
Okay.
you got people that are actually engaging with the community in that way. She
Mhm.
says One Omaha will be at South Omaha Neighborhood Alliance meeting tomorrow, and the North Omaha Neighborhood Alliance meeting on the 26th, presenting our strategic plan.
Nice.
Nice.
Can't wait to see that. There you go. Appreciate that very much. I see Tisa Harden talking about Empowerment Network needs to broaden their focus, yes, we're all in the room, but all the issues of the community are not addressed at the 360 meeting. Yeah, yes, definitely take some work, but I think there's a lot of other meetings too that we can attend that will address certain things. We are really learning about these lanes of change
Yeah.
and how many people have, what you're going to focus on one thing. So one of those lanes of change that we have is called is all about coalition building, which I feel
Right.
Yeah.
like One Omaha is doing in a big, big way.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much. I think that to their point, right? Some people are skeptical of data-driven approaches, which skepticism is earned, right? And data has often been collected about communities without really benefiting them. So what we're working toward, especially through things like the LB 1214, is shared governance, where residents helping decide what data is gathered, I should say, and how it's interpreted and how it's used. So at the end of the data, at the end of the day, that data should serve people, not replace their voices. And so I'm
mhm,
really, really excited of the work that we are doing together through these different initiatives.
that's what's
Man,
up.
and I think we got to be realistic about just how big the problem is. Kind of responding to the Omaha 360. What do they meet once a week? I mean, we talk 3 days a week, 2 hours a day, and we still can't cover every issue that's in our community. So,
Uh,
once a week meeting, regardless of how many hours they meet, is not going to be enough. 3 hours, 2 hours, 3 days a week is not going to be enough. Like it's what Kendrick say is not enough. Like we all need all hands on deck to solve the issues that impact us all. I mean, that's just
Right.
you can't point at somebody and say they're not solving the problem. They're not going to. It's come on now.
Yeah, yeah. But I will say, I see a vast difference in problems being solved now that Kimmer is joined One Omaha
Hey,
and has been doing what she's been doing for One Omaha. So many people are so down to have this kind of community mindset. She's been on the show several times talking about it. She taught us about the neighborhood mindset, and
Mhm.
how it starts with the neighborhoods and everything. So it's just I think it's a this is everything that we ever talk about is really going to start with us, what I call living alive with one another, and us getting together in person, us getting together and having real conversations, figuring out where we stand and standing together. And then all is going to start with the neighborhood. So I just
Right.
really
there you
appreciate the
go.
work you guys are doing in a real way, man. We
Thank you.
are past the time we were going to have you on, but we do want to, before you go, we got to ask you a couple things about your time in Omaha. Where's your favorite places to eat? What you like to do around here? What church do you attend? What? Let us know a little bit about you just your life here in Omaha.
Sure. So, what I like to eat, I'm a wing guy. So you can't be
Okay.
in Omaha without going to tracks. You just
Okay.
can't. Right. And they have a new location as well. So they have two different ones. I'm a breakfast guy. There's several places. One is in North Omaha. What is it called? Harold's.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
Very,
Hey,
very authentic
those mo-
American breakfast there.
Old school.
Um, right, for sure.
Talk to
I'm
some
that
real
old school guy.
Republicans over here.
Right. I am a member of Love Church as well. Like I said, I'm a saxophonist, and so
Yeah,
getting out to hear different music, no matter the genre, is right up my alley for sure. So,
we got it.
you
We
uh,
got
still
to get.
play?
yeah, yep. I just got off a tour in I did 15 cities in Spain. And so
Oh, you
for
dig it.
just under a month. And so yeah, definitely not gonna put my horn down. As long as I got uh breath in my body and my lungs and dexterity in my fingers, I'm gonna play for sure.
Okay. Well, you actually talking to a couple of musicians. Actually sitting in my studio right now here in Atlanta. But yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. We got to talk. Got to talk.
Okay,
we
let's
got we
do it.
got to talk in the kickback this summer is gonna have to be another jam session. I can see that coming for real,
Let's
for
do
real.
it.
Mm,
That's what's
man.
up, man. Appreciate that. And I know that you got I was gonna ask you like what stuff you do for fun, but with all them kids and all them places you got to take them for basketball practice and dance and everything else, that's probably what you do. You be in that car rolling.
Definitely. It's a lot of miles on my car for sure. But
Oh yeah.
I
Oh yeah.
make sure that you can't take care of anybody else if you don't take care of yourself.
Big
So
time.
I definitely make time for my mental health for sure. As and fun is a part of that for me. So I carve out time. If I put other things on my calendar, that means that those things are important. And so I schedule time for myself. It's called me time. And so
There you
whatever I
go.
feel like doing, that's what I do. And I don't allow other things or people to get in the way of that. So
Hey,
I haven't always been that way, but I am that way now. And so, yes,
balance.
every week I make sure that I get my time in for sure.
There you
Word.
go. Beautiful, beautiful.
Appreciate you, man. We'll definitely have to have you back sometime.
Okay, I would love to. Thanks so much for the conversation, gentlemen.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Yes, sir. Best wishes on the new gig, man. Thank you.
Thank you. And before I go, I just want people to get connected to One Omaha. So right here on Facebook, is facebook.com/One Omaha. On Instagram is One.Omaha. And of course, our website is oneomaha.org. So at the end of the day, again, strong neighborhoods don't just happen by accident. They happen when people have the tools, the trust, and the opportunity to lead where they live. And at One Omaha, our role, I want to make sure that we stress this. Our role is to come alongside of what's already working, to listen, to build together, and to make sure residents aren't just consulted, but they actually are shaping the decisions that affect their community. So if we do that well, we don't just strengthen our programs, we strengthen people. And that's how lasting change happens. So thanks again, fellas, for having me on the show. I really appreciate it.
Right
For
on,
sure.
man.
For sure.
Appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
All right.
All right. Peace, peace, peace.
Peace.
All right. Sounds good, man. I'm glad we got to meet a new brother on the scene. I missed
We're
that
gonna have to
question, brother
chat.
Anthony Roger. Huh?
Yeah. Look like we missed a question from Brother Anthony.
Yeah, good question. We'll pose that to them and have them send us over an answer to that. I appreciate that very much. He said he already
Yeah,
on me
sister.
about my time.
I was gonna say, Sister Cameron, if you're still listening, maybe looking at Communities of Care Coalition. Okay, to help with ICE. All right, I see you.
Like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, Anthony Wright is right. For those of you wondering, how can we utilize the prowess of One Omaha for our new Communities of Care Coalition that is formed to assist immigrant, undocumented, and others afraid of ICE occupation invasion in Omaha? Good question. Yeah, we're gonna ask that. We got to ask that of all of our organizations right now, for real. Stay tuned. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back in and jump back into the conversation. You're now in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, buddy to God. It's time to kind of break down some of the things and find out how we feel about it. Stay tuned.
Hey.
We'll be right back. It's going down. Welcome back. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, buddy to God. What's going on with you today, buddy? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling great. How are you?
Good. Feeling great. How are you?
Hey.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate you guys joining us, having good questions for the guests and being respectful of the guests as well. Thank you. Always good conversation. Good to know some brother. Get to know who's on the squad, who's on the team. And it just got me fired up about really, pushing more in on East Side neighborhood situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really got to keep that in mind. It all begins with the neighborhood. We go really far out talking about what Trump is signing and so on and so forth. Really, you bring it back down to the neighborhood and who's in your neighborhood. Another place that I'm really feeling strongly about neighborhoods is when I go over to the visitor center over there on 24th Street right now, bro. Let me tell you, it's the new black headquarters for real. It's the new black city hall over there. Every time I walk in there, Kimbra's in there working at the headquarters. It's the new headquarters for real. I see Leo Lewis there all the time. Talk to Brother Preston Love all the time. And there's always somebody having a meeting. Ran into Brenda Council the other day. So every time I go there, it feels like community has gathered to have these conversations and to make some change. Sister Jewel Rogers, recipient of our Love Supreme Award this year, held a meeting there talking about one of the bills that's come across her radar that she wanted to make sure that she let people know about. Had a nice turnout there for that as well. So, not just people who are coming to hang out, but people who are coming to do some work for our community out here in a big way. So, shout out to Preston Love. Shout out to Vita Jeffrey. Shout out to everybody that's over there behind the Visitor Center, North Omaha Visitor Center that's happening. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do so. That's where the action is happening right now. That's the new headquarters for real. Coffee shop in there too, by the way. So go get your coffee and snacks and come say hi, shake hands with whoever's there, man. Elected officials there all the time. I mean, it goes down in there for real. I appreciate that. Kimmer says, appreciate you raising this publicly. One Omaha strength is neighborhood level organizing, relationship infrastructure, and rapid response resident engagement. I need to learn more about the rapid response resident engagement. I didn't know about that. I definitely want to hear more about that for sure. She says, we're always open to strategic collaboration that centers dignity and safety. Love that. See, I believe engage our engagement manager pretty well, and you could definitely bring this to her. Okay, cool. So talk about it. More than happy to just to continue this discussion. Where should I email you?
No, I think that's she was responding to Brother Anthony Rogers right about got it. About the. But I'm glad you mentioning that because and just this general conversation, to get back to today's conversation and the timing of it, as far as bringing Brother Landrum on to talk about communications and neighborhood level communications, especially in the face of ICE and what's going on, because that's what we're seeing is going to be needed because we're seeing basically forces come into communities and intentionally scramble communications using cell phone tower duplicators, using all the tactics that they have at their disposal to make sure that it's hard for communities to communicate and to organize and to have a rapid response, as she said. So again, all the relationship infrastructure, neighborhood level organizing, rapid responses. I agree with Brother Anthony Rogers right as far as putting that into the context of ICE. It's something that we're going to have to talk about and continue to keep in perspective.
For sure. Before we get on to the next thing, I just want to reiterate that we do have some free tickets available for film streams. Let us know if you want to go check out this documentary film is about Thelonious Monk called Straight No Chaser, one of my favorite films of all time. This is Black History Month, by the way. We don't talk about it a lot because it's Black History Year for us all the time, but a lot of people are doing programming around Black History, film streams included, and they have a set of films that are happening this month. This is one of them that I highly suggest you check out. Saturday, February 7th is going down at 2:30, and then Wednesday, February 11th at 6:30. Two showings for this movie called Straight No Chaser about Thelonious Monk. It's one of the best jazz and documentary films I think of all time. Definitely should check that out. And we do have some free tickets for that too. You can get 2 tickets for this for free for either one of the days. So let us know if you'd like to go, and we require you to go to our YouTube channel, like and subscribe over there, and then send us an email at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com and let us know which show that you want to check out. Also, here's another one that I think is going to be pretty interesting too. It's called Dry Longzo. I keep on forgetting to get the rundown of what this movie is about. I knew it at the time, and then I wrote it down, and you know how that works. Wrote it down, put it somewhere. Go ahead. Oh, you do? You remember?
Yeah. This kind of jumped out to me because I thought of Sister Erica Felt. This is the one based in Oakland, the young sister from Oakland, telling the love story. Yeah. It's a love story based in Oakland, I believe in the 90s, set in the 90s. Check it out.
So, it is a film by Colleen Smith. Every film that is going to be shown at Film Streams for Black History Month is directed by a woman, so I think that's pretty awesome. This is Thursday, February 19th, through Sokoloff Theater at 6:30. That's the one over there by downtown, by the Slowdown over there, that theater. So definitely let us know if you want 2 free tickets to this. Same thing. Go to our YouTube page, like and subscribe there, and then go to send us an email at firstsky.omaha@gmail.com. Let us know that you want to go to this show, and we'll see if we can get you some tickets on that end. So with that, it is 8:30 right now. We got about 30 minutes left in the show. We definitely want to open this up to have some more conversation about some things. Buddy, lead the conversation. Where are we going next?
Well, first two things. Speaking of the Black History Month, let me throw in my little 2 cents as far as events going on. Sister Kimra in the chat saying, don't forget about the Black Female Educator display opening up on Friday at the Union for Contemporary Art. So definitely check that out. Definitely.
Nice.
Yeah, and also while we're talking about community communications and navigating through the madness, the Green Book exhibit is opening up at the Durham, so definitely check that out. Again, if you don't know about the Green Book, early example of community communication, as far as again letting folks know, especially Black and brown folks, know where to go to navigate through the sundown towns as they travel across the country, man. So again, definitely big ups to the Durham Museum for highlighting that portion of history. Check it out if you have an opportunity. Definitely check it out.
And one more thing, this Black History Month, this is the month that we have taken over the book drop, which is the
Hey,
podcast for the Omaha Public Library. That should be airing shortly in the next week or two, I believe. So definitely look out for that. If you have checked out the book drop before, we did this last year, so maybe you've been paying attention to the book drop, which is like I say, Omaha Public Library's podcast. They definitely have some good guests, good things to talk about on there. But First Sky Omaha just took it over for Black History
yeah,
Month.
man.
Check it out.
Look out. So yeah, man, as we wrap up in this last 30 or so minutes, I definitely wanted to dive back into the conversation and open it up really as to what we're talking about, how we navigate, follow the money, and really do for self. I think is the big question. Like how do we, in light of we see what's going on as far as our elected officials, basically the theft is on as
Mm.
far as healthcare, being defunded. And it's kind of interesting. Brother Anthony Rogers, right, keeps saying ICE can't be defunded, but we've seen how other organizations and departments can be shut down and money can be moved. So they're not too afraid to do that to education departments and other departments. So
They ain't gonna
you
do
can
it for
only
this,
hope.
right? But
Yeah, you can only hope. You can only hope.
right.
But definitely wanted to dive in and where I ended off before I guess, as far as the ACLU and the Cornhusker Clink situation and just communication, like what to look out for. I don't know if many of us have heard about this change in ICE acquisitions of warehouses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, just communicating and preparing as a community and just being frank about what's going on. Again, as fights happen really across the nation, but of course in our own backyard with the ACLU and, as we mentioned earlier, residents of McCook suing to try to block what's going on with the McCook Cornhusker Clink. Again, the ICE Homeland Security has now had a pivot in their spending and not necessarily contracting with already existing facilities and dealing with states for the use of their correctional facilities, but now turning to a private situation, acquiring warehouses across the nation to convert it themselves into private facilities. Again, this is being reported by Bloomberg. The cost of actually two warehouses alone were about $172 million. A third that was acquired in El Paso, Texas, could be among the largest jails of any kind in the country if completed as envisioned, with 8,500 beds. The deals mark the latest turn in U.S. ICE plan to use as many as 23 warehouses for detaining thousands of immigrants arrested by federal agents in Minneapolis and other cities. Those aggressive enforcement actions have ignited clashes, of course, between protesters, which have led to multiple killings, not just the two that we've been talking about, but of course, remember the brother out in California. Several other individuals have been shot as well. On January 16th, of course, the administration paid about $102 million for a site near Hagerstown, Maryland. That's according to local court filings. And then again, a week later, the government paid another $70 million in cash for a warehouse in Surprise, Arizona. The price tags roughly in line with the industry average for the warehouse market, covered just the acquisition of the sites, which are currently empty shells. ICE still has to pay companies to outfit the buildings, toilets, showers, beds, dining, recreation areas, and then run them as detention centers. So that's an avenue, something that we're going to have to follow the money for as this comes out. Of course, we talked about Cornhusker Industries, and which, if you remember, Cornhusker Industries is basically the corporation that uses prison labor to build furniture and things like that, that is then sold and used to furnish government buildings like other correctional facilities, schools, courthouses, and things like that. Essentially, the full slave industry. It's it's the slave supply chain. And I'm very curious to see how that plays out in this aspect. Who are they going to source for these beds? Who are they going to source for some of these materials that will go into these warehouses? And furthermore, who are they going to fill all these warehouses with? I mean, I think that question needs to be asked
and answered. I mean, I feel like it's been answered. They're telling you exactly who they want to fill all of these places, and they're not just telling you. They're going after us. They're going after everybody. So and what's really interesting about this too is that I feel like there's something has definitely shifted. Last year, I feel like there was speculation on that. We would ask the question who. This year, there's no question. I don't even feel like there's a question anymore. What is they trying to do? I have to jump right to what are we going to do about it, because it's obvious who they're coming after, what they're doing, and there's already actions being taken. Like you say, ACLU out here is already suing, and there's other states and other entities and other judges and other ACLUs in other states, and there's so much going on around the country right now when it comes to this and the fight. You can just look at Minneapolis as a microcosm of that right now, of everything that's happening there as far as the fight's concerned. So yeah, it's always been the question, but I would say for us, it's always been, what do we do about it? Because even before all this stuff went down, it's going down like it is with ICE. It was going down like this with the police in our community. So it's always been a question forever. How do we combat that? How do we keep ourselves out of the clink? How do we keep ourselves, safe? And what do we do about all that? So, to me, it's time to jump to that question. We already know what they're going to do and how much worse it's going to be. We have the answers for us in the lanes. Different lanes is where this is going to take place. The lanes of political power, I'm really understanding more so this season that that means reins on the money. Stopping the cash flow is what's going to stop certain things or move certain things in certain directions. Or if you can't, like Anthony Rogers Wright is saying, if it's baked in, then there's some other places where some more cash can go to combat it. Then there you go. So there's a lot there, and I guarantee you there'll be some people, if the right people get in the seats, there'll be some shifts. But I also am not hopeful of that either. We don't have a whole lot of trust when it comes to either party in a lot of the sense here, especially with what's been going on lately with that. They keep voting for more cash. I can't get off that. I'm gonna probably continue that every time we talk about this, because what else? What is the other solution? For me, that's the solution. It has to be. They don't run nothing unless they got some money to run it. Take the money away. If you want to slow anything down or do anything, what this thing that Trump just signed, was it? I didn't get to read all of what that was. Was it part of that to halt funds for ICE right now?
No, it was to fund ICE for 2 weeks. So ICE has been funded for 2 weeks. It was a $17 trillion, like $17.1 trillion appropriations bill is what was signed. So he signed off on the budget.
Right.
And the House approved the budget on a very, very slim three vote margin, 217 votes to 214. Very, very slim margin.
Yeah. Somebody give me another solution.
It's all connected. It has to be all of it. It has to be that. I mean, and that's the point of the lanes of change. The lanes themselves come together to create a freeway, and the freeway is how we get to where we're going. And so with that point, I think of one, starting with communication, i.e. what we're doing, trying to communicate to individuals, to the public, to whoever is trying to listen, what's going on. So those who care, so like-minded individuals can hear the message and mobilize on that message and hopefully create coalition from that. And from that coalition, we pull together resources, i.e. funds. We support candidates. We flex the political power. And it becomes, that. And that's a very idealistic way, but it can happen. Point in case, the Gullah Geechee. Again, people who have come together as a community. You like what I did there. You
I
like
like
the
that.
people who have come together as a community, who understand, who have a common understanding, who have coalition surrounding their identity, i.e., them being the Gullah Geechee. And again, if you don't know, the Gullah Geechee is a African, let's call it what it is, community located not too far from where I am right now on the coast of Georgia, that has maintained their identity, maintained their culture pre and post slavery. And that fight continues. Actually, this being reported by the Guardian just recently on Sapelo Island. Again, the Gullah Geechee have won a fight in that area, basically capitalizing and doing exactly what I just said, coming together, pulling their resources and flexing via that resource their political power. This coming in the form of a referendum that all but stopped gentrification that was on its way. Again, in the area of Sapelo Island. Again, you think island beach property close to the ocean, developers will love that real estate and they are trying to move into that real estate. But again, the people of that area stood up. This is again coming out of the Garland on Sapelo Island. Post enslavement, free black folks were granted land in Hog Hammock in part because it was seen as marshy and less desirable than the rest of the island. Very similar to what they try to do to our communities with redlining, put us on the least desirable, most just dilapidated land. But you see how North Omaha is being developed around and how prime realty North Omaha is. So yeah, they try to feed us chitlins and try to feed us slop and intestines and we turn it into delicacies. I mean, that's just what we do. But I digress. It is actually the only remaining Sea Island community of the Gullah Geechee people in Georgia. Again, the last stronghold. Outsiders building large vacation homes was what was at stake in Tuesday's election in the county where Sapelo is located. Only the second citizen referendum on a county plan or policy in Georgia history. Again, the people of that area, actually more than, and hear this, not many, but enough. Not many, but enough. 2,000, just 2,000 registered voters in the county signed petitions allowing residents to vote on whether they were for or against a zoning amendment, which would increase the residential square footage, which would allow developers to make their way in. About 85% of those registered voters voted in the county, which opposed the zoning increase. So again, a lot can be done when communities come together, understand the mission, understand the problem, and step up.
They said, "I ain't going nowhere." Shout out to the I like how that's the title of the Guardian.
Man.
The Guardian. I ain't going nowhere. Go get you people fight. That's what's up. Appreciate that. Yeah, that's like you said. Don't take many. Don't take many. I love that for sure. I've been asking. I'm asking out. I'm like, what are some solutions there? It's definitely good to hear about a certain group of people. I got some friends that kind of grew up around that area too. They're gonna be really happy to hear that because it was really kind of taught me about that. But yeah, that's a trip. Mama Gawd in the chat is got a really great solution too. She says citizens are pushing back on warehouse owners, forcing them to back out of the sale. Not enough of them, but it's a start. So they got your mind turning on different angles on which you can battle certain things. It ain't just defund this or move this or sue that. It's also corporate pressure, other kinds of pressure in a big way. So I like that. I love that. Mama Gawd is saying they like Doge. Tell them to Doge ICE, at least to start. Push out eventually like they are doing the Department of Education and many other departments.
I'm saying.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that. But it is, if Elon Musk is listening, it is a very inefficient organization. You really should go cut back on some things.
Yeah, I see what you did there.
Those bonuses in particular. There's a lot of money going to bonuses for people that just want the bonus.
Man, or millions of dollars for warehouses. I don't know. Is that
millions of dollars for warehouses? Right. Anthony Rogers Rice says the government is funded until September now, not really a budget, more a continuing resolution.
Right.
Yeah, just stopping the shutdown for the moment. But I have yet to see anybody who's really kind of standing up when it really comes to the shutdown. I would love that part. Like, can somebody really stand up and be like, listen, no more money, or else we'll just be shut down, I guess. I mean, we're just not gonna find that. It's not gonna happen. And I don't want to, and also, you're when you say that, then you're not addressing all the people that are going to be very hurt by this. Air traffic controllers were already working the past few days without pay
I
because of
mean, that's what ended it the first time. We did that for over a month, and then Democrats, got their pockets lined by the flight, the aviation lobby, and the rest was history. And yet here we are, still kicking cans.
I'm really trying to understand the whole story, because it's real easy for me to go with the narrative that is being presented here. That
What you mean?
Republicans are standing their ground, and Democrats come in, and then they say, "Yeah, we're going to fight this," and then they don't, and then things go in the status quo. So if that's what's really happening out here, if that's not happening, somebody really let me know another narrative, because that's what it seems like to me. It seems like every time we get to this point where there's going to be a standoff, the Democratic Party just goes ahead and says, "Yeah, just go ahead and give them some money," or whatever. They back down from it. They back down.
That is the point. That's why so much attention is being pointed towards this midterm election, to try to get some Democrats and that have some backbone, as they're saying, that's willing to fight, that's willing to take some hard stances and make some hard decisions. Because it's more of the same. But at the end of the day, just leaving it to Democrats to save us isn't isn't the best either. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, the Democrats have their own issues as well. I think it is a time for the people to reimagine.
Yeah, well said. Reimagine, and I don't want to stray too far from Mama God's suggestion there, or what she was saying people are doing. They're putting pressure on the warehouse owners, because that gets my mind spinning in a different direction. I like staying in that lane where we're thinking outside the box on all kinds of different ways to be able to achieve what we're trying to achieve. And you kind of got to start with what you think and what you believe. Like I said, man, I've been kind of surprised about learning maybe a little less than half of the people that I talk to that frequent are cool with the situation and cool with it, not letting people with what ICE is doing. And yeah, they could better than they are, but we got to do something about these borders. And for my community,
yeah, I mean, I'm hearing the same. I'm hearing the same from some brothers and sisters, more so brothers that feel like some of the mass immigrations we've seen, and people coming in does cause a problem and does cause a threat, and there might be some operatives who are waiting, some cells waiting in behind enemy lines per se. No, I don't know about that, but as far as what we're seeing, as far as I'll put it like this: are there possibly people here that maybe shouldn't be here? That's possible, but what we're seeing, let's address what we're seeing in the streets. Let's handle that as far as how they're going about it, which isn't the way to go about it. It's not the way to go about it.
Yeah, and there's so many other things tied to it too. That's the problem. Getting paid for filling up Cornhusker Clink, like everything you just talked about as far as slave labor that's out here building furniture for office buildings and stuff. If there wasn't all this stuff that was kind of tied to this and mixed in, it wouldn't be a clear cut picture in the first place. But it's so much tied to it.
Oh, looks like we might have lost Paul. Oh wait. You there? Yo. Uh-oh. Looks like we had it in then last couple minutes. We'll see Paul trying to join back in. But yeah. Dang, it was kind of interesting in what he was saying. And now I'm curious. Do y'all see me? Do you hear me? Let me know in the chat. while we kind of get these tech difficulties ironed out, going to the chat really quickly. Stacey Jean saying try to vote Democrats with the backbone. Okay, second in that one. Also, Mama God in the chat says, no matter how angry folks are with MAGA, no trust in Dems creating a strong coalition and path forward. Okay, let's see. Paul, you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. You can hear me but not see me. Is that what's going on?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess.
Okay, well, he made it through most of the show, y'all.
Yeah.
All right, well, I guess I'll jump back into the chat. The chat is still going on. Big shout out to everybody still tuned in. Thank you for letting us know you still hear me. Marlon says, you buddy. Stacey Jean says, yes, I hear you. Okay, thank you. Yeah, RG, man. He says the Broligarch's coming for y'all. Hey, it ain't just Georgia Ford and Don Lemon. We all got to be careful out here.
That's real.
But yeah, going again, as Mama God was saying, no matter how angry folks are with MAGA, no trust in Dems creating a strong coalition and path forward. So again, where's the strong opposition and all of this? Marlon Harrison also in the chat saying, I feel like at the end of the day, we need to put people in office to put the guardrails back up. Definitely need strong people in office. Of course, it has to be an and, you know what I mean? Like it's not a but, or it can't be either or. It has to be and. We have to figure out what we can do as a people to come together and also have people in office that will support those stances. Also, Ariel's 402 in the chat says, I watched Black and Jews on PBS last night. Very interesting dynamics. I have some thoughts, but I'm kind of curious. I'm not familiar with that documentary or that product. Let me know what about that interests you.
You said Black and Jews or Black and Jewish?
Black and Jews. Yeah, Black and Jews. That's
interesting.
On PBS. I'm not sure.
Never.
That's new to me. Have you heard of that, Paul?
Never heard of it.
Okay, yeah. Let us know what jumps out from that to you, Mayor Sanchez. Let's see where else in the chat. I can see you. Okay, thank you, y'all. Kimra also says there is a cohort called Rekindle that focuses on the relationships between Black people and Jewish people post civil rights. Okay, kind of curious to see where y'all going with this Black and Jewish conversation. But before we get out of here, I did have one last article to kind of hammer the point home as far as getting people in office that are, willing to stand up and have a backbone. I'm talking about right here in Georgia, in Fulton County. If you haven't heard again about the standoff that's going on in Fulton County between their leadership and the FBI, definitely want to talk about that situation before we get out of here. If that's okay, Paul.
Absolutely.
And this being reported, I have it from Yahoo News. Also the Center Square, again, talking about the raid that went down. If you haven't heard, again, the FBI raided Fulton County's voting offices. The Fulton County officials have now filed a federal lawsuit challenging the seizure of the 2020 election ballots. Again, Marvin Arrington Jr., who I've actually had the pleasure of speaking with, having officials. Brother Marvin Arrington Jr. is of the people. He's of the people. He was in the studio actually making records with a bunch of artists to represent old Atlanta. So that just kind of paints the picture of what kind of community individual Brother Marvin Arrington Jr. is. And this is who is going to fight Trump's FBI. Again, Brother Marvin Arrington Jr. says the search warrant, I believe, is not proper, but I think that there is ways that we can limit it. Again, in a newsletter shared on social media, Arrington says, we want to ask the forensic accounting. We want the documents to stay in the state of Georgia under seal, and we want to do whatever we can to protect voter information. The FBI again searched the Fulton County election headquarters last week to obtain voting records related to the 2020 election, and ended up walking away with about 700 boxes. And to put this into context, if you remember, also Trump's administration put out a letter, or really the ultimatum to officials in Minnesota asking for their voter rolls. So again, the whole voter hoax lie, let's just call it what it is, that they're still pushing. They're still pushing it. You know, the same energy, the same reason that they stormed the Capitol on January 6th, those years ago, is the same thing that they're pushing now. Why they're in Fulton County, why they're asking for the voter rolls. Let's talk about it. Paul, what say you?
Well, we have to defer to the chat on this one. It's the internet got me coming in and out, so I'm hearing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chat's actually going off, so appreciate y'all on that. Asking about answering the black and Jews. Again, Kimra says it dives into how Jewish people took on the identity of whiteness after civil rights. Black and Jews is a new documentary by the iconic Henry Louis Gates Jr. Put some respect on his name for show. Thank you for that, Marlon Harrison. Michael Lee asking if we've been reading any black books currently. Okay. I'm always reading black books, but if you have any idea, let me know. Brother Anthony Rogers Rice says not all Jews are white. The majority of Jews are not quote unquote white. Ariel's 402 says they were strangers, competitors, then allies. Is this in regards to the blacks and Jews? Let's see if we got Paul. Yo.
Can you hear me?
Okay, can hear you.
Yeah.
Can hear you, can see you.
All right, cool. My bad, y'all. We hung out as long as we could on that one.
Yeah, made it most of the show. So again, appreciate you for getting back on and working through it. Just going through the chat as we wrap up here. The chat's going off, so appreciate y'all continuing the conversation. RG in the chat says talking about the North Omaha Book Club again. We were asked if we're reading any black books in the chat. He says North Omaha Book Club is on post-traumatic slave syndrome right now. Man, okay. Man, I'm glad y'all talking about all of this. And I'm glad because I personally feel like the Negro problem is going to have to be addressed. And what's going on with this whole ICE situation is a byproduct of the Negro problem not being addressed. Because right now we have groups of people who aren't American historically, they are European descendants going around telling people who is and isn't American. Can the real Americans please stand up? Who are they? That has to be addressed. Where are the natives? Where are the nationals? We can only operate on stolen land for so long. This has to be addressed. I mean, that's because we got so-called white people dictating whose country this is, and we know that this is not their country. If we know where anybody's from, it's them.
Man.
And it's not here. So how can the people that we know isn't from here dictate who isn't and isn't? Like, how are we allowing them to run the master narrative?
Well,
dominate these conversations.
We're allowing them to be in power. We're allowing them to. That's what it boils down to. Is we depend on them power and economic reasons. Then they're just taking the reins. They're just saying, well, we're in power. This is our country now. We're going to tell you who's going to be here and not who's not. And it's crazy. This is why we do what we do, because unifying is really the only way that we can do something about this. And when you think about like how many more people in all the groups there are to group with, and this including some white folks that know what's happening too, then we really kind of outnumber the powers that be. So how are they allowed to dictate it? Well, whoever is being allowed to be in power is the people who are allowed to dictate that, or they think.
Right. Man. So again, it starts with communication, but also leads to, hopefully through that communication, we can build coalition. And from that coalition, learn how to pull resources and flex some political power to get some things done. But It's gonna take all of us. And again, once a week meeting, or even a 2 hour, 3 days a week meeting isn't necessarily enough to get it all done. But we're gonna keep doing it. Paul, you good over there? What you thinking? How you want to wrap this up? We got just
Yeah, I
about
just
one
want to
minute
wrap it
left in
up.
this thing.
Yeah, just want to wrap. Yeah, it's time. I'm gonna go ahead and go because it's time to wrap it up anyway. I will say that we have special guest Carol Blood coming on Friday, so I highly suggest you tune in for that. There's gonna be questions. She's running for OPPD board,
Yep.
I believe. So yeah, so she's she's back around, getting ready to go there. So we're gonna talk about why she's doing that. So a long-awaited visit by former Senator Carol Blood that's going to join us on Friday. So shout out to her for making that happen. Yeah.
All right.
Other than that, man, yeah, I appreciate you guys just bearing with us through the tech issues and getting down to the end of the show. I appreciate all the comments today, and I appreciate our guests, man. That was awesome to meet a new brother on the team there. So I appreciate that. And that's really it for me. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Yeah. Again, big shout out to the brother for coming through. Excited to see what you and the whole team at One Omaha, has in store. Big shout out to Sister Kimmer for setting that up and joining us in the conversation as well. A big thank you to all of the chat chimers, everybody tuned in. We appreciate you, love you. We thank you as always for joining the conversation, even despite the technical difficulties. We gonna try to make sure we do what we do the best we can. So again, we appreciate you, love you for your patience, for your grace. Catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul,
in the morning.
Hey, there you go. Again, appreciate you, love you. We thank you. But it's reached that time, man. So we're gonna get up out of here. Pop's giving us some love. Says excellent show. We appreciate you. See you Friday. So let's echo that, man. Get up out of here. Let Paul try to figure out what's going on, man. Get to the bottom of things.
Cox cable ain't no good, bro. No good.
Yeah. So again, man, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Catch the same time, same place. Until then, peace.
By the way, Vanguard. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green.